Of all the things that changed my life for the better most quickly, it was learning how to set goals. And mastering this unique process can have a powerful effect on your life too. One morning at breakfast, shortly after I met Mr. Schoaf, he asked me if he could see my current list of goals. He said, "Let me see your list of goals, and let's go over them and talk about them. Maybe that's the best way I can help you right now." And I said, "I don't have a list." He said, "Well, is it out in the car or at home somewhere?" I said, "No, sir. I don't have a list anywhere." He said, "Well, young man, that's where we better start." Then he added, "If you don't have a list of your goals, I can guess your bank balance within a few $100s, which he did, and that got my attention. I said, "You mean that if I had a list of goals, that would change my bank balance?" He said, "Drastically." That day I became a student of how to set goals, and sure enough, when I learned how, my whole life changed. My income, my bank account, my personality, my lifestyle, my accomplishments. So I'd like to share with you the best I have learned and practiced on goal setting. First of all, I'd like to say that we are all affected by 5 factors. The first is environment. The second is events. The third is knowledge. The fourth is results. And the fifth, and often overlooked factor that affects our lives is our view of the future, our dreams. I won't get into all of these influences here, but let me concentrate on the fifth one, dreams. Of all these 5 influences, make sure your dreams are the greatest influence on your daily decisions and activities. Put another way, make sure that the greatest pull on you is the pull of the future. For your dreams to greatly influence you, for the future to pull you, your future must be well planned. There are 2 ways to face the future. One is with apprehension, the other with anticipation. Guess how many people face the future with apprehension? Why? They don't have it well designed. And without really thinking about it, they have probably bought someone else's view of how to live. You will face the future with anticipation when you have planned a future you can get excited about, when you have designed your future results in advance. In this way, the future will capture your imagination. It will exert an enormous influence on you. And to design your future, you must have goals. Well-defined goals are like a magnet. They pull you in their direction. And the better you have defined them, the better you have described them, the harder you work on them, the stronger they pull. And they pull you through all kinds of difficulties too. Without goals, it is easy to let life deteriorate to the point where you're just making a living. It is not difficult to get trapped by economic necessity and settle for existence rather than substance. We all have a choice. We can either make a living or design a life.
You don't pay the price for a good marriage. You pay the price for a poor one. You enjoy the benefits of a good marriage. You don't pay the price to be successful in selling. You enjoy the benefits which go along with it. Not easy always. Matter of fact, seldom is. But it is so much easier and far more fun to be successful than it is to fail. See, life is not easy. Life's tough. But if you're tough on yourself, life is going to be infinitely easier on you. I well remember when our youngest daughter graduated from high school and we went down to get her a car. Now, I'll have to confess, I've never sold automobiles personally. But if you were to ask me to describe a pretty fair prospect, I would describe it as being a daddy with a daughter who just graduated from high school. He publicly announces he's going to buy her a car. He's obviously in a hurry and apparently has the money to buy with. Now, I don't know how you'd rate him as a prospect, but I'd say that is a pretty fair prospect. Well, my daughter had not been to bed the night before. And the reason she'd not been to bed the night before, she'd been up all night getting dressed. As we'd say down home, she had on her Sunday go to meeting best. I mean, this was a big event, a brand new car. I was working that day, so I was dressed approximately as I am today. We walked into the showroom there, and the young salesman had seen me, and I hasten to add, this was not a Ford dealership, all right? We walked, and I'm embarrassed about it, but she had made her choice at that moment. She said, let's go in there, Dad. And so we pulled in. The young salesman had obviously seen us part of the car, which was a nice car. And he came up to us, and although we gave no indication of being a charitable case, he offered charity. Can I help you? Well, we decided to turn the charity offer down because I was in a hurry. And as near as I can remember, here's exactly what I said. I said, yes, my daughter just graduated from high school, and we're going to get her a new car as a graduation present. He looked at me and looked at her and said, well, if you see anything you like, let me know. And he turned around and walked away. I thought that was pretty bad till I got to the next place. Same words, but this fella, ladies and gentlemen, this fella had B.O. Third place, almost as bad. The fourth place, we got lucky because my daughter had dated the salesman. And so we had a connection with the dealer, and we were able to buy a car in short order. But that's the first day I understood two things for the first time. I understood why we were having a recession. We couldn't get waited on. And I understood what the prospect means when they walk in and say, we're just looking. When they walk in and say, we're just looking, believe me, they are desperately looking for a salesperson to sell them something so they don't have to keep on looking. That's what I'm saying. The truth is, when the man and his wife or the man or the woman walk in your dealership, they've come in because they want a solution to a problem which they have or a desire which they have. Now, with 40, if we can recognize basically that we need to solve their problem and that as individuals that we can get everything in life we want, if we'll just help them get what they want, which is a beautiful solution to a transportation problem or a transportation desire, then as salespeople, we get the profit we wish because we have helped them get the answer to the problem they had or the desire they had. If you want to change the output in your life, you've got to change the input in your life.
Worker, sincere, but you've got to do better than work hard and be sincere all of your life. You'll wind up broke and embarrassed. You've got to be better than a good worker. You've got to be a good asker. Let me give you some key points on this asking and receiving, setting goals, asking of life. Here's part of the philosophy that helped me to change. First, asking starts the receiving process. Asking is like pushing a button, and all this machinery starts working, mental and emotional machinery. I don't even know how it works, but I do know it works. There are a lot of things you don't need to know how they work. Just work them. Some people are always studying the roots. Others are picking the fruit. It all depends on what end of it you want in on. So asking is the beginning of receiving. Second, receiving is not the problem. You don't have to work on receiving. It's automatic. So if receiving is not the problem, what is the problem? It's failing to ask. The man says, I see it now. I got up every day this year and hit it hard, but nowhere in my house is there a list of what I want from my life. Can you see? Good worker, poor asker. Third, receiving is like the ocean. There's plenty. especially in this country. It's like an ocean here. Here, success is not in short supply. It isn't rationed so that when you step up to the window, it's all gone. No, no. Well, if that's true, what is the problem? Well, the problem is some people go to the ocean with a teaspoon. Have you got the picture? A teaspoon. What I suggest you do in view of the size of the ocean is trade your teaspoon for at least a bucket. And you will look better at the ocean with a bucket. Kids won't make fun of you. Now, here's something else to remember about asking. There are two ways to ask. One is ask with intelligence. It didn't say ask intelligently, but I'm sure it meant that. Don't mumble. You won't get anything by mumbling. Be clear, be specific. Intelligent asking means how high, how long, how much, when, what size, what model, what color. Describe what you want. Define it. Remember, well-defined goals are like magnets. The better you define them, the stronger they pull. And give your goals purpose. Answer both questions. What do I want? That's the object. And the second question, what for? That's purpose. Purpose is stronger than object. What you want is powerful and it will pull. But what you want it for is more powerful. Here's the second way to ask. Ask with faith. Faith is the childish part. It means believe you can get what you want like a child, not an adult. Many adults are too skeptical. They've lost that wonderful childlike faith and trust. Don't let that happen to you. Believe in, have faith in yourself and your goals. And get excited like a child. Childlike enthusiasm. Nothing can beat it. Kids think they can do anything. How exciting. They hate to go to bed at night and can't wait to get up in the morning. Develop that kind of enthusiasm toward your life and your goals. And be curious like a child. Kids can ask 1,000 questions.
How many of you believe that your thinking has a definite direct bearing on your performance? Can I see your hands, please? All right. Now, before you change your thinking, you got to change what goes into your mind. We all want exactly the same thing. Whether you live in the northwestern coast corner of Washington or the southeastern coast of Florida, anywhere in between, we all want basically the same thing. Everybody I've ever talked to wants to have good health. You know anybody who does not appreciate good health? I believe every one of you would accept a raise or a bonus if it were offered. Is anybody here who would not accept a raise or a bonus if it were offered? If the boss put one up, you would accept it, wouldn't you? All right? Occasionally I'll have somebody say, well, I don't really want to make a lot of money. But I have discovered years ago that a man or a woman who'd say a thing like that would lie about other things too. And don't misunderstand, money's not everything. I mean, you know, there's stocks and bonds and real estate. There are other things. But everybody at least wants a good standard of living with some few surpluses to go along with it. Third thing everybody wants to be is happy. Everybody wants to have friends. Everybody wants to be secure. And everybody wants to have peace of mind. Those are 6 universals. Everybody wants those 6 things. So as salespeople, let me ask you a question. How many of them have you got? And you need to ask yourself that question, you see, because you need to find out what you've got and compare it with what you want. Because you see, if what you've got is short of what you want, then we need to explore how we got what we got. And what you're going to discover is you've got what you got based on your performance. So obviously, if you keep on doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep on getting what you've been getting. Last November the 26th, my redhead and I, my wife is a decided redhead, meaning simply one day that she just decided, you know. The redhead and I were at our favorite ice cream parlor one night about a year ago. And we were sitting there having our ice cream, and in walked this young fellow and his girlfriend. Now, I surmise he's 23, 24, 25 years old. And when he walked in, I kind of nudged the redhead a little bit. I said, look at there, sweetheart. She said, I see him. I said, I wonder what happened. She said, what do you mean? I said, look, he's hurt. He's been in an accident. Oh, honey, she said, he hadn't been in an accident. He's been to the beauty shop or the barber shop. I said, that wasn't an accident? She said, no, honey, he's a punk rocker. In my lifetime, I've never seen a human being as badly mutilated from the ears up as this guy was. Now, the beautiful thing about America is, you see, he can choose to be that way. He can choose to look that way if he wants to. But he made another choice when he made that one. He chose to eliminate 98% of all employment opportunities. Your dealer wouldn't hire him. We certainly wouldn't hire him at our company. Why, we'd have to spend half our time just explaining the fella. I mean, now, what's all of this got to do with selling more Fords this year? It has everything to do. Because you see, the way you show up dressed physically and mentally is a choice you made, but you also chose directly when you made that choice as to how many new Fords you're going to be selling. It's all part of the package. Now, we can choose to greet that walk-in prospect enthusiastically, or we can choose to judge them and say, oh, he's just looking. Bum, you can tell the way he walks in. He's not in his Or you can choose to put him on trial, sentence him, convict him of being a buyer, and greet him enthusiastically and let him leave the proud owner of the new Ford. Yes, you can. I hope it's the latter because, you see, I've been a customer of Ford for nearly 30 years. I went to the wayside for one automobile, but I happen to believe in what you sell. And I hope you choose to greet them enthusiastically and professionally. I hope you're prepared physically and mentally to handle that prospect in the proper way. We go through life making lots of choices.